Hi everyone, my name is Junon. I have a health science background, and I'm the author of the book Truth and Empathy, How to Find Your Soulmate. And I'll put a link to the book below. This video is about the romantic compatibility between INTPs and ISFPs. But before we dive into this topic, I would like to underline something about my book. It is written from a health science point of view, so we'll be looking at the anatomy, physiology, brain dominance, and so forth of the 16 MBTI personality types. And based on this information, you can identify your own type. And since I advocate that like attract like, you can determine the best romantic partner for you long term. So let's go back to the topic at hand. What do INTPs and ISFPs have in common? Obviously, they're both introverts. So these are people who need to be alone or with a few close friends and family members to recharge. So they will be able to understand each other on that level. The other point that they have in common has to do with the fact they're both perceivers. So these are people who like flexibility in their schedules. They tend to be not as organized or reliable as judgers, and they like the unexpected. So they're able to understand each other on that level. The other point is that they both have rather good energy. So the ISFP is the personality type who has the best energy of all the sensors. So the INTP will not feel drained if they spend a lot of time with the ISFP. So that will be a positive aspect of this pairing. Now, they will face some challenges. The first one is that the ISFP is a feeler and the INTP is a thinker. And feelers tend to fare better in their relationship because they are right brain dominant and put emphasis on their relationships. So they are people oriented. By contrast, the INTP is object oriented. So they tend to struggle in terms of understanding the emotional context of most relationships. So in other words, the feelers, when they make decisions, it's based on their own ethics and own morals, especially when it comes to the ISFP, because if you look at their function stack, they have introverted feeling as their first function. So they're very much focused on making decisions based on what is important to them. By contrast, the INTP has introverted thinking as their first function. So they're very much about the internal logic of any situation. And if you look at the ISFP's function stack again, is that they have extrovert thinking as their fourth function. So it's one of their weakest, actually, conscious function, which is the opposite of the INTP, which is their first one. So they are very strong when it comes to internal logic. So the other challenge is that the INTP is an intuitive thinker. So they are about the abstract future. The ISFP, being a sensor perceiver, are about the present moment. So they might struggle that way. The other aspect when it comes to sensor perceivers like the ISFP is that they tend to have a short attention span compared to intuitives. Is that they don't have the same perception of reality because the INTP's brain dominance, it is alpha, whereas the ISFP, it is slow beta. So that also may be a challenge. So I would say overall, this is not a good pairing because of the fact that, yes, they are both introverts, they're both perceivers, they both have good energy, but the issue is that they don't have the same focus. As an intuitive, it is about the abstract future. As a sensor perceiver, it is the present moment. The fact that the ISFP has a very weak thinking function, when they'll be trying to make decisions, the INTP will look at the ISFP and say, well, you're not logical enough. And the ISFP will feel that the INTP is not very much making decisions in line with their own ethics and own morals. And the other challenge that the ISFP, being a feeler, tends to be warm, affectionate, and likes to be physically close with people they care about. Whereas the INTP, as a typical thinker, is not very comfortable with this demonstration of affection to people they actually care about. So that will also be a challenge. So overall, I don't think this is a good pairing. So let me know what you think by commenting below. If you like this video, if you learned something, please click on the like button. Also remember to click on the notification bell to be notified of other videos I'm going to be making. Subscribe to my channel, and we will talk soon.